People often say that money can buy anything, but there is one thing money can never guarantee: true love. Dazibo was one of the richest young businessmen in the country. He owned expensive houses, luxury cars, and successful companies. People respected him everywhere he went, but behind his smile was a painful secret. He no longer trusted love. Years before, Dazibo had fallen deeply in love with a beautiful woman. She promised to stay with him forever. But the day his business faced a small problem, she packed her bags and disappeared. Later, he discovered that she had only loved his money. That heartbreak changed him. After that, every woman he met seemed interested in his expensive lifestyle instead of his heart. Some asked about his cars before asking about his dreams. Others wanted gifts before they truly knew him. Dazibo became lonely. One afternoon, while wearing simple clothes, he stopped at a small roadside restaurant to eat. There he met a young woman named Tama. Tama worked as a waitress. She was kind, respectful, and always smiled at everyone, even when customers were rude. She earned very little, yet she never complained. When Dazibo accidentally dropped his wallet, Tama quickly picked it up and returned it without opening it. "Sir," she said gently, "you forgot this." Dazibo smiled. "Thank you. Many people would have kept it." Tama shook her head. "My parents taught me that what doesn't belong to me can never bring me peace." Those simple words stayed in Dazibo's heart. Over the next few weeks, he kept visiting the restaurant. They talked about life, family, dreams, and fate. Tama never asked him how much money he had. She only cared about whether he was a good person. Slowly, Dazibo fell in love. But fear still lived inside him. What if she changes when she knows who I really am? He wondered. He wanted to believe in her, but his past refused to let him. One evening, after weeks of thinking, Dazibo made a surprising decision. Instead of taking Tama to one of his beautiful mansions, he would take her to an old broken house on the outskirts of town. A small house he had secretly bought years ago. The roof leaked whenever it rained. The walls were cracked. The furniture was old and worn out. Every woman he had brought there before had laughed at him, insulted him, or walked away forever. "This house will tell me the truth," he whispered to himself. "If Tama truly loves me, she will stay. If she only loves comfort, she will live like the others." The following Saturday, Dazibo invited Tama to visit the place he called home. She smiled warmly and agreed without asking any questions. As they drove toward the lonely, abandoned-looking house, Dazibo's heart beat faster than ever before. Would Tama's love survive what she was about to see, or would she become just another painful memory? Dazibo parked the old car in front of the small broken house. For a few seconds, neither of them spoke. The afternoon breeze moved through the dry grass as Tama slowly looked around. The roof was covered with rusty sheets. Some windows were cracked. The walls were faded, and the wooden door looked as if it had not been repaired in years. Dazibo quietly watched her face. His heart was beating so fast that he could almost hear it. "This is my home," he finally said in a soft voice. He lowered his eyes, expecting disappointment. Instead, Tama smiled gently. "It may be old," she said, "but every home has a story." Dazibo looked at her in surprise. She walked toward the front door without saying another word. When they entered the house, the condition inside was even worse. The living room had worn-out furniture. A small table leaned to one side. The curtains were faded, and there were tiny holes in the ceiling where sunlight slipped through. Tama looked around carefully. She didn't complain. She didn't laugh. She didn't ask why he lived there. Instead, she rolled up the sleeves of her dress. "Do you have a broom?" she asked. Dazibo blinked. "A broom?" She nodded with a smile. "If this is your home, let's make it beautiful." For a moment, Dazibo couldn't believe what he was hearing. Every woman before her had demanded to leave within minutes, but Tama was asking to clean the house. He found an old broom and handed it to her. Without hesitation, Tama began sweeping the dusty floor. She opened the windows to let fresh air inside. She folded the old blankets neatly. She wiped the dusty table with a clean cloth. Soon, Dazibo joined her. For the first time in years, the old house was filled with laughter instead of silence. As they walked together, Tama noticed several empty picture frames hanging on the wall. "Were these your families?" she asked. Dazibo paused. "Yes," he answered quietly. "They remind me of happier days." Tama walked closer. "I'm sorry." Dazibo nodded but remained silent. After they finished cleaning, Tama walked into the tiny kitchen. There was almost nothing there, only a small pot, a few plates, and a bag of rice. She smiled. "We can still cook something." Together they prepared a simple meal of rice and vegetable stew. They sat on old wooden chairs and ate happily. The food wasn't fancy. There were no expensive drinks. But somehow, Dazibo enjoyed that meal more than the luxurious dinners he had eaten in five-star restaurants. As evening approached, dark clouds gathered in the sky. Thunder echoed across the village. Moments later, heavy rain began to fall. Water started dripping through the damaged roof. Dazibo sighed. "I forgot how badly this roof leaks." Without complaining, Tama quickly placed bowls and buckets under the leaking spots. She laughed softly. "I've lived in worse places." Dazibo stared at her. "You've lived like this before?" Tama nodded. "When I was a little girl, my father lost his job. We stayed in a tiny house, much worse than this. Sometimes rain entered every room." She smiled as if remembering an old lesson. "My mother always said, a peaceful home is richer than a beautiful house filled with hatred." Those words touched Dazibo deeply. Later that night, the rain finally stopped. The moonlight shone through the broken window. Dazibo looked at Tama. Aren't you disappointed? She looked confused. "Disappointed about what?" "My life." Tama smiled warmly. "I don't love walls." Dazibo frowned. "I love people." Her answer made him speechless. For a long moment, neither of them spoke. Then Tama gently reached for his hand. "You've been carrying sadness for a long time." Dazibo slowly nodded. "I've trusted the wrong people." "You don't have to tell me everything today," she said softly. "But whenever you're ready, I'll listen." Tears almost filled Dazibo's eyes. No one had ever spoken to him like that. Just then, the sound of a powerful engine echoed outside. Bright headlights flooded the old house through the broken windows. Several black luxury SUVs stopped in front of the property. Men dressed in expensive black suits stepped out one after another. The leader hurried toward the house with an anxious expression. He knocked loudly. "Sir, we've been searching everywhere for you." Dazibo's face immediately changed. He knew exactly who they were. His personal security team. Tama looked from the door to Dazibo, completely confused. The security chief pushed the door open. Seeing Dazibo, he bowed respectfully. "Sir, the board members are waiting. The emergency meeting cannot begin without the CEO." Silence filled the room. Tama slowly turned toward Dazibo. Her eyes widened in disbelief. "CEO Shibo," she whispered. The room became completely still. Dazibo realized the truth he had hidden for so long had finally caught up with him. The room fell completely silent. Tama stood frozen, staring at Dazibo. The security officers remained at the door with their heads lowered, waiting for instructions. Dazibo slowly took a deep breath. He knew he could no longer hide the truth. "I'm sorry, Tama," he said quietly. She looked at him without saying a word. "I wanted to tell you the truth many times, but I was afraid." The security chief looked confused but remained silent. Dazibo continued, "I am the CEO they were talking about. The house, the old car, the simple clothes, they were all part of a test." Tama's eyes filled with tears. "A test?" she whispered. Dazibo lowered his head. "I've been hurt before. Every woman I loved only wanted my money. When they thought I was poor, they left me." He looked at her with regret. "I was afraid the same thing would happen again." Tama remained silent for a long moment. Finally, she spoke. "So, you never trusted me." Those words pierced Dazibo's heart. "I wanted to trust you," he answered, "but fear kept holding me back." Tama slowly stepped away. "I never cared about your money." "I know." "No," she said, shaking her head. "You know it now. But before today, you believed I needed to prove myself." Dazibo couldn't deny it. She wiped the tears from her face. "I opened my heart to you because I believed you were honest with me. I'm sorry. I cleaned your house. I'm sorry. I cooked with you. I'm sorry. I shared my childhood. I'm sorry. And all that time, you were hiding behind a lie." The words broke Dazibo's heart. For the first time in years, he realized that wealth was not the only thing capable of hurting someone. Dishonesty could hurt even more. He slowly walked toward Tama. "I don't deserve your forgiveness." She remained quiet. "But everything else I told you was true. My feelings were real. I love you, Tama. I've loved you from the day you returned my wallet." Tears rolled down his cheeks. "I don't want to lose you." The security officers quietly looked away, giving the couple privacy. After several moments, Tama spoke softly. "My mother always taught me that everyone makes mistakes." She paused. "But she also taught me that love cannot survive where trust is missing." Dazibo nodded. "I understand. If you choose to walk away, I won't stop you." He turned toward the door. Before taking another step, he heard Tama call his name, "Dazibo." He slowly turned around. She walked toward him. "I am hurt." "I know. I need time. I understand. But I also know something." He waited quietly. "The man I met at the restaurant. The man who listened to me. That man was real." Dazibo felt hope returning. Tama smiled through her tears. "I don't love your companies. I don't love your houses. I don't love your money. I love the man who chose to eat simple food beside me." Dazibo could no longer hold back his tears. He gently took her hands. This time, he said, "There will be no more lies. I promise." The security chief respectfully cleared his throat. "Sir, the board meeting." Dazibo smiled. "They can wait." The officers exchanged surprised looks. "For years," Dazibo continued, "I put business before everything." He looked into Tama's eyes. "Today, I choose the person who reminded me what truly matters." Several weeks later, Dazibo finally introduced Tama to his real life. She visited his companies. She met his employees. She saw his luxurious home. Nothing about her changed. She remained humble. She greeted the cleaners with respect. She thanked the drivers. She spoke kindly to the security guards. She treated everyone equally. Watching her, Dazibo smiled. His final test had not been the old house. It had been his own heart. Months later, family and friends gathered for a beautiful wedding. It was elegant, but not extravagant. During the reception, Dazibo stood before the guests. There was a time when I believed money could protect me. He smiles at Tama. But money cannot recognize true love. Only character can. The guest applauded. Tama took his hand. And true love, she said with a smile, doesn't ask how much you own. It asks how much kindness you carry in your heart. Years later, the old house was still standing. But Dazibo refused to demolish it. Instead, he renovated it into a community center where struggling families could receive free food, clothing, and job training. Above the entrance, a wooden sign read, "A loving heart is the greatest treasure anyone can possess." Every time they visited, Dazibo remembered the day Tama chose kindness over comfort. And every time Tama looked at the old house, she remembered that true wealth is never measured by the size of a home, but by the goodness that lives inside it. True love is not measured by money or luxury. It is revealed through honesty, trust, and kindness. If someone tested your heart today, what would they find? If you love interesting stories with life lessons, subscribe to this channel, Sandra African Tales. And folks, thank you.